The first two United States women's national team friendlies under brand new head coach Emma Hayes, and just the second to last camp before the Paris 2024 Olympics is happening right now. This is the last camp before Olympic rosters are named. So Emma Hayes has a lot to assess and a lot to look at. She has called in 23 players to this camp, as well as 4 additional training camp players that will not be able to play in these 2 friendlies against South Korea, but she is still getting to assess them at training. The United States takes on South Korea June 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern time at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, Colorado. That is the first in a pair of friendlies. Sandra, you and I have picked out our preferred starting lineup. So this is who we want, not who we think. This is a wish list. This is not predictions. This is who we want to see for funsies, for technical ability, for tactical things, who we want, not who we think is going to roll out. So Sandra and I both picked our starting lineups, the formations, what we think we're going to see, who we think we're going to see, and how it's going to roll out for June 1, United States against South Korea. Coach Sandra Herrera, take it away.
All right. This was a wish list. So I want to desperately see.
So many caveats. Wish list.
Listen, we're going to maybe even touch on this a little later in terms of the excitement around this player. But I think if this is the second camp that we have Lily Johannes in, we have got to see some minutes from this player. And I think now that Emma Hayes is actually here, is actually going to be on the sideline, we could possibly see it. But I want to see Lily Johannes in this as well. I as far as going out from the back, and going up the top, I have Casey Murphy starting as goalkeeper. I think it's time for her. Alyssa Nayers, not in this camp. She's been the de facto backup. Give her the start in these friendlies. So I've got Murphy out in the back. I've got Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Sam Staub, and I've got Casey Kruger to round out my back line. I have Johannes and Coffey in the middle, and then I've got Dunn, Lavelle, and Swanson, and I've got Macario up top. Because I think once upon a time, Macario was supposed to be the 9 of this team. And I think that maybe, just maybe, she could be again. So this is a wish list. And I hope against all hopes that we get to see it. But I don't really think we will. I'm sure there's going to be some usual suspects and plugged into holes where we've already seen them plugged into. But I've mostly got it in a 4-2-3-1 as well, Lisa. I also think this has been the formation that they've used to try to start things off and make sure that they're getting those final third entries and working on ball progression. And I think throughout some games, we've seen them kind of fluctuate a little bit, I think. But to start, we might see something like this.
Okay, I absolutely love your starting lineup. Shout out to Mark, our producer, for getting graphics made. So if you're joining us on YouTube, you got to see a great little tactical layout for Sandra's starting lineup. I really enjoy that. So you think that in that formation, Kat's going to be like a stretching number 9. Like she's going to be a high 9. She's not a false 9.
I think she could do it. I think especially if she's on like a minutes restriction, I think you could do it because I think you've got a couple of forwards here. Let's be real. We've got a few attacking forwards who are coming into this camp injured. So maybe we're going to see some split time up top.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. There are a lot of attacking players that have some type of knocks that have been called into this camp. So I would suspect minute restriction, but also I want Emma Hayes to have a lot of rotation so she can see these players in person and against competition, hands down. Okay, I absolutely love that. Do you have first rotations or anything?
I think as far as like having the line of 3, and as far as Dunn and Swanson, I absolutely could see Rodman as a first rotation into that mix, for Dunn or Swanson if they're not kind of executing what Hayes wants to see. That would probably be my first go-to.
Okay, cool. I like that. So I have this character flaw that I just have to be right. So it was really hard for me to pick something what I wanted while also being like, no, I want to be right. I want to get it right. I want to predict the right.
I respect it. I respect it.
So there are definitely some moments in me where I was like, you know what? I don't know if I absolutely want this, but I'm going to go for it. So this is my wish list starting lineup. I have Casey Murphy in goal. I also think that she deserves time during the W Gold Cup. I was like, give Casey Murphy full-time minutes. Across the back line, Jenna Neiswanger, Naomi Girma, Sam Staub, Emily Fox. I want to see Staub and Girma. I want Staub.
Me too.
Significant minutes. She's been called in for a reason. There have been injuries at the center back role. Staub needs time and minutes. In the midfield, I'm going Coffey, Jaden Shaw, and Lindsay Horan. I like Horan as this like defensive player that can
probably what we're going to see. Fair.
Yeah. So this is where I was like, I have to go with what I know is going to happen because I just need to be right sometimes. But I really want to see Shaw in the 10 because we have so many attacking players. Shaw is so much better at the 10 because she can rotate to the front line. She can defend. She can do so much. And she's so much more effective in the 10. And my front three, Mallory Swanson, Katarina Macario, and Trinity Rodman. We are going at them. We are getting goals. We are starting fast, starting strong. Our counter press is going to be important. This is my lineup for the U.S.
I love it. I think 8. Well, we've got about 8 similar picks though out of the 11s. I obviously leaned a little bit more into my wish, wish part of the wish list, but I do think we'll probably see something similar to yours. I know the recency bias is also in my head too. Like I know Lindsay Horan is coming off of a massive campaign with Lyon, a Champions League final. This is
minute restriction.
This is officially the start of the Emma Hayes era, and this is a coach that has absolutely been fearless when it comes to the concept of player rotation and player rest and minute management. And I think that that's also maybe something a little bit new for maybe the players on this national team program to get used to, because it's like, I think once you get called into these camps, the concept has been to be ready to perform no matter what you're coming off of.
True.
And that's part of what makes this national team program so great, is that they're full of psycho ballers. But
that's also what
rotation.
And it's also what makes having this new coach who has no history with U.S. soccer and no history with these players, relatively speaking, coming in. Everyone is on a clean slate. So even though maybe in camps past, or if Flacco was still the coach, Horan would have been rested, we could see, I would not be surprised if we see her being like, nope, I want 90 minutes. I want to prove myself that I'm the captain, that I deserve to start, that I deserve all of this. I honestly could see that because it is a blank slate. My first rotations, because I was like, okay, this is how we're going to sub now. Crystal Dunn in for Swanson up top, and Sophia Smith in for Trinity. So I want to see Kat with Dunn and Sophia Smith. I also think in the midfield, like we could see, honestly, Corbin Albert slot in there easily. That was a midfield trio with Sam Coffey, Lindsay Horan, and Corbin Albert that Twyla Kilgore / Emma Hayes really liked seeing over these last couple of camps. So those are like my, where could we see rotation come in? But I think German and Staub are a partnership at center back that I want to see. Like I'm
0% shocked that the anchor trio of like Murphy, Staub, Germa was similar for you and I, no matter what.
I mean, even Fox too, right? You had Fox. Who'd you have?
Yeah, I had Fox.
Kruger.
I had Kruger
out left. Okay, yeah, and I had Neiswanger and Fox. So similar. I like that. I like that lineup. Our producer Mark, he put a poll on YouTube during this conversation saying whose lineup / formation is better or preferred for people. Sandra, my poll won 70%, 30%. I swear I don't just say when I win.
People like to be correct. They don't want to dream, and I'm a dreamer, baby. Okay.
Oh, that is
so
beautiful.
Lily Johanna some minutes. Let's go.
I hope she does. We'll see. The United States, they take on South Korea. The first match, June 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern time in Commerce City, Colorado. The second in the pair of friendlies, June 4th, Tuesday at 8 p.m. in Minnesota. We will preview these matches, have recaps for you on Attacking Third with the studio show tomorrow, Thursday, and also on YouTube for recaps of those matches.